Welcome back. So today we're going to be talking about the KI-61-II Otsu Kai, the ultimate aircraft in the Japanese air tree. So this is the 78th Flying Regiment of the 14th Flying Brigade. Per their description, they were formed in March of 1942. In the period from April 43 to July 44, they took part in operations throughout the Pacific Theater. This is the squad that gets you Fighter Pilot 3. So, with the KI-61-II Otsu Kai as a stock unupgraded plane, because, to be honest, I just haven't wasted the silver on upgrading it. Although, to be honest, I probably should use some of the vehicle upgrade tokens from the Battle Pass on this one. You get a crew of 1, you get 2 100 kilo bombs, you get 2 20 mil Ho-5 cannons, you get 2 12.7 mil Ho-103 machine guns, you have a max speed of 655, a climb rate of 19.12, and a best turn time of 16.79. Now, mind you, all of this will improve with the upgrades, so you'll get less drag, more lift, less mass, more engine power. So it may be worth upgrading. Even in its current state though, this is a phenomenal plane. It's probably best compared to the American P-51 with the 500-pound bombs. It has a similar playstyle to that, except I believe that this turns a little bit better, but I should double check that. Let's take a look. So the P-51 has a best turn time of 18.32 seconds, and it's slightly faster, so yeah, it's similar. It's probably the best comparison that I can make. So, my experience with this plane has been phenomenal. It is an Army plane, not a Navy plane, so you do get an air spawn, which is kind of a big deal in the Pacific. In the European maps and in Africa, when you start a game, there's like a minute to like a minute and a half where you can't spawn in planes right at the start of the game. They don't have that in the Pacific, and it's because of the carriers, but the thing is, not every plane in the Pacific spawns on the carriers. So the ones that do spawn on the carriers, they have to spin up their engine, they have to take off, they have to climb. When they climb, they're going to be kind of slow. So their initial approach to the battlefield is actually pretty slow. The thing is, the Army planes that take off, or not take off, that start in the air, they don't have that. They just spawn right at the beginning of the match in the air, and they can beeline straight in and take out the enemy. So something that you'll see a lot are KI-61-IIs will come in and bomb the enemy as they're running towards the first objective, or you'll see the bow fighters for the British. They'll come in and do like rocket runs on the Japanese right when they're starting off. So it can be pretty devastating. I think the most I've ever seen somebody kill with that is like 25, 30 people with one run. So it can be devastating. Is it enough to change the tide of the battle? It depends on how aggressive your team is. It's more effective with the RP3s on the Bowfighter than the 2 bombs on the KI-61. But with the KI-61, I think I've seen as many as 15, 20 taken out that way. It really just depends on whether your team is hard charging and able to exploit the gap that you make there. It depends. A lot of the time I've seen teams get onto the objective initially and then had the other team respawn, run up, and push them off, so I think in a lot of ways it's net neutral, but it's something to be aware of. Just that it's a possibility, especially if you're playing infantry. Just understand that there are certain planes in the Pacific that can hit you right at the beginning, and it might be a good idea to get away from the rest of your teammates. That being said, onto the plane itself. It performs pretty well in a flex roll. And that's why I like it. That's why I consider it the ultimate plane in the Japanese lineup. So, in the Japanese air tree, you get access to pretty decent dedicated fighters. Like, for example, the A6M20. The problem with it is that it only has 60 kilo bombs, and they do okay, but they're not the best. Still, it's relatively quick, and it turns amazingly. It's actually kind of disgusting. Even at low BR with the A5, you have very good turn time. You just don't exactly have the best weapons, but it's still fairly competitive with other low BR planes. The thing is, when you look at the Japanese strike planes, they're very dedicated strike planes, so your D3, it carries decent bombs, but it doesn't have retractable landing gear, it's kind of slow. The B5 has no main guns, it only has the turret, and the D4 only has 7.7s and it's a BR4 plane. So, the D4 does have a bigger bomb loadout, with a 500 kilo bomb, but it's not a flex plane. It's very much so go in, blow one thing up, and go home. The Ki-61, I think, shines then, because you have these 100 kilo bombs, which is about the equivalent of the American 250s. And at the same time, you're also a full-fledged fighter. So you can come in, blow up a jumbo, for example, and then go and shoot down all the American planes, shoot down the bombers that they called in, whatever, right? Alternatively, you can fly by, take out a squad of infantry, and then go and shoot down some planes. Maybe they don't have any planes, and you come back around, and you strafe their ground units, and you do have 20 mil cannons, so honestly, it works pretty decently. Now, you do have to avoid flying like a monkey. I had one, I think I included the clip, where there was a P-38, we were over the water, I should have killed him, I just, like, screwed up my controls, and instead of flying a circle with him, I, like, flew into the water. But realistically, against a P-38, I should win that fight every single time. So I think that this performs as a very effective plane. I like that I can use it to fill the strike role and also the fighter role, because ideally, for most nations, I would prefer to only run one plane. I like flying planes. Flying planes in this game isn't terrible. It can be very useful to your team. So I prefer when the plane can do both the attack role and the fighter role, especially if it's a fighter that can attack, because, to be honest, just about anything that you throw at the ground, if you put it in the right spot, can kill stuff on the ground, but not everything you throw at other planes can actually deal with other planes effectively. And so having a plane that is very good at being a fighter, where you can duel other planes and you can come out on top, where you can go in and shoot down the whole bomber formation, but at the same time, you can take out a priority target like a tank, or an AT gun, or a formation of infantry. It's really valuable to me. So, let me know down below, do you have a whole lot of experience with planes in the Pacific? How's it worked out for you? Let me know if you have the premium Ki-61. It seems like they're pretty similar. I do not, though. I think the premium one is a little bit slower, and it has German 20 mils instead of Japanese 20 mils, but I can't imagine that they actually perform that differently. But yeah, I like it. If you make it to the end of the Japanese tree, I highly recommend the Ki-61-II. It's an awesome plane. I think it more or less can accomplish what the D4Y1 does, but having the air spawn and being able to deal with other air threats is really, really nice. So, as per usual, get out there, kick ass, take names, and win your games. With that, I will leave you with the B-roll.